Puget Sound is blessed to have a treasure trove of delicious seafood right below the waterline. Did you know that it's also accessible to just about everyone in our state? As long as you've got a boat, of course. And that's why we're here today with Seattle Boat Show Live TV. We're here at Seattle Boat Show Connected TV with restaurateur chef Ethan Stowell. Ethan, what's on the menu today?
Today we're going to give you a little demo of how to make a little avocado crab dip. It's a dish I made years ago. It's just tasty. You know, Dungeness crab, as you know, is from the Northwest, and it's super delicious and fresh. And adding avocados and just keeping it pretty simple and light and clean is the way I love to cook.
That's exactly your style. Let's get after it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so this dish is super simple. It is literally just fresh Dungeness crab. I've got some fresh pick stuff at the meat. I've squeezed it out a little bit so all the moisture's out of it. I got fresh avocados, which I've already started on one. I'll show you how I de-pit one and peel it. Got some fresh herbs, salt and pepper, lemon juice, lemon juicer, which was one of my favorite tools. But let's get going. The first thing I do is with this dish is I like to make my avocado puree and then just fold the crab in.
I feel like cutting the avocado is a good way to end up in the emergency room if it's not done correctly.
That is true. That is very true. Or to lose a pit somewhere. But yeah, you want to make sure that your avocados are nice and fresh and that they are not battling you like this one is battling me. But it's okay. Okay, so the first thing I do when I'm making avocado puree is I like to make sure I quarter them because I like to handle them in big chunks. They're super easy this way. Put them in a bowl. We're just going to mash them up with a whisk and then fold in the crab after that.
Are you going with an organic or regular avocado?
I'm going with organic Haas avocados right here. Yeah.
For the cost of a house, we're going to have prepared for us.
I got to tell you, they've been good at the store lately. I like them, and they've been super great too. So we're going to keep on working on these. So tell me, what's going on with the boat show this year?
Seattle Boat Show Connected is alive and well. We've got over 34 hours going on at seattleboatshow.com, and for those folks at home, we're hoping that you'll join us into the show for $5. You can get in the show and check out the exhibitors, the activities, the boating and cruising and fishing seminars we've had in store. It's been a crazy show thus far. We've got a great team in place, and we're hearing a lot of great feedback from our exhibitors.
All virtual this year, right?
Exactly. We're calling it Start Online, End Up on the Water is our slogan, and we really mean it. And boat show sales have been through the roof, and we're hearing a lot of positive feedback on the show thus far.
That's great. That's great. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many events that have gone virtual this year, and I got to tell you, I've found them to be super entertaining and super fun. And it's not the normal thing, but it's nice to mix it up a little bit. And you know, just seeing so many organizations pivot properly and do things the way they have and how they've handled the pandemic up to this point has been amazing. So. I applaud.
Yeah, thanks. How's Ethan Stowell's restaurants doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. You know, I mean, we do have a lot of to-go food. We have a lot of to-go kits. We have a lot of virtual cooking classes. But we're doing fine. I mean, I wouldn't say this is like the best year we've ever had. But our company's, we're resilient. We're positive people, so we're not worried about it. We're just looking forward to everybody getting to the other side of this thing and everybody being healthy and safe and all celebrating with one gigantic party when it's all over.
How about at the Wallingford Tavolata, maybe?
Oh, Wallingford Tavolata's been great. Got a nice big heated patio there. And, people want to eat out, man. People love restaurants. People love services.
Because if you didn't have enough going on, you've also opened up How to Cook a Wolf, I think, in Madison Park.
We opened up another restaurant in Madison Park, which has been fun. We built a bunch of covered patios for everybody there so they can really enjoy eating outside. They're all heated. They're all kind of waterproof at this point. And, hopefully that's a trend that'll continue because people love eating outside.
There is a cookbook out there called Salt, Fat, Acid, and Heat. I think we're using some fat right now. Can you talk about the interplay between those four important components to good eating?
No, sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, fat and salt are great combinations, whether you're using avocados and saltiness from crab or, salt into steak, or pork shoulders and, all kinds of stuff, I think it's just a great way to really bring out flavor and really enjoy what you're cooking. I mean, that's been one thing that's been great about this pandemic is just the amount of time I've been able to spend cooking. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. I went and got a green egg and started doing a lot of smoking and did ribs and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, green egg, that's on my Christmas list, Ethan. What do you think? Is that worth the investment?
I think it's amazingly great. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to decide between a Traeger and a green egg.
I think personally. No, I think they're both great. I mean, I think the Traegers are if you get one that handles whole wood, I think that's fantastic. The thing I like about the green egg is that they're super versatile as far as grilling, smoking. You can even get the pizza insert and make pizzas on the grill and all that stuff. So it's been good. It is true. Okay, that took a little longer than I expected. But so we've got this chunky avocado puree that's got lemon in it. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold our Dungeness crab in there. And then I'm gonna let you stir that while I chop some herbs out.
Okay.
And you can really use any herbs on this dish as you want. You know, today I'm using basil and mint. You can use cilantro. You can use chervil. You can use tarragon. Whatever you want to use. It's kind of fresh. It's really meant to have this thing be nice and fresh and clean. Also, if you want to make it a little spicy, you can. If you want to add some jalapenos or anything like that to it, you can. Basically, you know, this is kind of dealer's choice. Whatever sounds good. You know, so if you want to make this dip a little bit more of a south of the border Mexican style thing, you can add jalapenos and you can add cilantro, you can add all kinds of stuff.
That's always a question I have, is it's worth the investment also to get those fresh herbs versus the stuff that's in your the dry stuff, the dry spices?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think and it also depends on what you're going for. You know, like we do a lot of Italian food at our restaurants, and a lot of Italian food has dried oregano and things like that in it, which are great at times, you know. But as far as if you're using light, fresh things, if you're using fresh avocado, fresh Dungeness crab. You know, I like fresh herbs because it feels better. It's like a little bit better of a mouthfeel. It tastes a little bit brighter. There's all that. Put that all in there. I'll let you stir that in.
Okay, yep. Guess how many people in Washington State, Ethan, have a crabbing license?
Well, there's almost 9 million people in Washington State. So I would guess 8.5 million.
Wow, I like your bullishness on the recreational crabbing license market. About 250,000 Washingtonians have their license, and crabbing season starts around June 1st. There are about 13 different areas.
Want to taste that and see if it needs some salt and pepper or any more extra lemon? And then, sorry, I cut you off about Dungeness crab.
I'm trying to brag about. That's good. Yeah, maybe a little bit more salt.
Okay, let's do it. Any more lemon needed in there?
I think it's spot on with the lemon.
Okay, great.
Yeah, about 250,000 licenses, and it's hard to always know when Dungeness crab season is running, so you want to check out wdfw.wa.gov, and they do a really good job keeping the calendar up to date because it depends on how many crabs are being caught by recreational boaters.
That's one thing I love about the state of Washington. They're super protective. You know, we want Dungeness crab and salmon and halibut, all the stuff out here to be around for a long time. So I appreciate how protective they are of everything. Okay, so this is just a super simple presentation of this. This is more than you're gonna need. Those avocados I had were pretty large. And then, you know, I always like a little bit of spicy crunch to it. So I just sprinkle a little bit of radishes over top. If you want to add on a little drizzle of good olive oil, now's the time to do it. And then I just pretty much very simply just serve this with either, you know, you can use a toasted baguette, you can use just straight up sliced good bread. I brought a few crostinis and some crackers here. You know, you can do it however you'd like.
Can we talk food and wine pairing a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
What do you think would be the right pairing for that dish?
For this thing, I mean, I gotta tell you, it could be a lot of things. You know, I mean, I kind of follow. The color of the protein with the color of the beverage, you know, so, obviously with oysters and crab and halibut, I like white wine, you know, this is pretty rich because of all the avocado, so, you know, you can go, you know, a nice Chardonnay, you can go great beer, you know, even something like a tequila margarita dish, a drink or something like that would be fantastic. So, you know, as far as, you know, like Washington wines, I think a nice Washington, you know, I mean, Riesling's pretty popular out here, and that would be a great pairing, so. Anything is dealer's choice, in my opinion.
What makes Dungeness crab the best crab in the world?
Just the flavor, texture. It just doesn't, nothing else compares to it. You know, it's readily available. It's got great mouthfeel. It's got that richness you're looking for at a crab. So, I mean, I think it's one of the best out there.
Steamed, boiled. How do you go about it?
I'm definitely keep it simple. So I like to boil them, crack them. Just eat them out of the shell with a little bit of mayonnaise and some lemon juice. After that, at that point, I'm pretty happy. And that's just a beer on the deck kind of day for me.
Right on. Sounds delicious. Let's dig in.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna get you a little cracker here so you can taste this. all in with radishes and everything. Let me know how that is. Super good? All right, good. So that's as simple as it gets with the food. I think one of the things about the Northwest is we have such great product out here. Whether it's all the shellfish and seafood we have, or mushrooms, or if you go east of the mountain, the vegetables and the beef and things like that we have out in the Northwest, it's fantastic. So I'm a big believer in keeping my cooking pretty simple, having fun with it, really letting the joy of the night or the day be dictated by my friends, and not letting making dinner or making lunch stress me out too much. So simpler you keep it, more ahead you get prepared, the more fun you're gonna have with your friends.
I think we've done that today.
And on a boat.
Exactly.
Works out well.
Better. And there you have it, Dungeness crab avocado dip, served up on a beautiful Lindell Yachts. That's hashtag Lindell Yachts on your favorite social media channels, and www.lindellyyachts.com. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with another dish by Chef Ethan Stowell. We're back on the Lindell 46, and if that wasn't enough for you, we've got another crab dish. Ethan, what's on store right now?
I'm going to teach you guys how to make a super simple but super delicious Dungeness crab cake dish. Personally, I like my crab cakes with a little bit of flavor to them, but still keeping them simple. So we're going to add a little bit of jalapeno, cilantro, a little lime juice. So let's get started. My main thing about crab cakes is you add as much breadcrumbs as you need to hold them together, but no more. That's one of the things about crab cakes, is that people add too many breadcrumbs or too much mayonnaise or too much filler, which is not what you want. You want to make sure you have enough just to hold it together. I equate them very much to potato gnocchi, or Italian pasta dish. The idea of potato gnocchi is add as much potato as possible, as little flour as possible, and then just enough binders so you taste so you have a strong potato flavor. Right, so I think the same thing, right? So the first thing I do when I start with crab cakes is pick Dungeness crab meat, super squeezed out, because all the water means if you have more water in there or more juice in there, that means you have to add more breadcrumbs to kind of hold it together. So make sure you squeeze your crab cakes, make sure you squeeze your crab meat out thoroughly. Next thing I do is I add some fresh chopped cilantro. Go as much or as little as you'd like. I like a lot, and I like my herbs roughly chopped. You don't have to worry about this being fancy at all. Just rough chopped is great. Add all that to it.
What I like about crab cakes too, it's a breakfast, lunch, or dinner item.
Totally. Add a little poached egg on top of a crab cake for breakfast is amazing. Amazing. Okay, so the next thing you do, I've already got my jalapenos seeded and diced here. I'll show you how I do it, because obviously you can add as many seeds as you want, but the more seeds you add, the spicier it's going to be. So if you want to just have it be mildly spicy, make sure you cut around the seeds of the jalapeno. You can add a few in. I add some. I like mine a little bit spicy. If I want it really spicy, I'll use a serrano chili in there and keep the seeds in.
So you're not blanching the jalapeno or anything like that?
Nope. Everything in here is all raw. Okay. Because it all gets cooked in the saute pan when I'm roasting the crab cakes.
I knew that.
So I just cut around that, then just go just like I'm chopping an onion.
Then you rub your eyes?
And then I rub my eyes. First thing. That's kind of the rule of crab cakes. Okay. There you go. Add all that in there, and then the recipe has 2 jalapenos in there, so I add a little bit more. Okay, and then the next thing is fresh lime juice. I like it. Anytime I'm using any kind of citrus, I always make sure it's fresh. I love these lime and lemon presses because you really get a lot of the yield out of the citrus. And it really does a great job of making sure you get every last drop. And it's easy to use, so you really encourage you definitely to use fresh citrus, not any of those plastic limes or lemons that are out there.
What are some other gadgets you swear by?
you know, I'm not a big gadget person, but anything that's going to help make cooking easier for me, you know, so, you know, microplaners, mandolins, those things I like just because they're super easy. They make my job easier. You know, I mean, I think one of the things about when people are cooking, they, you know, I think they stress too much about it. So anything you can do to make it easier, simpler, more fun, faster, I think is great for people. This is my opinion.
If I wanted to order crab cakes, which are the Ethan Stowell restaurants would I go to?
Several of them, obviously. You know, we got some at How to Cook a Wolf. We got, you know, the place we sell the most crab cakes is down at Goldfinch Tavern at the Four Seasons. So we definitely do a lot there. So I've added my cilantro, jalapenos, mayonnaise, breadcrumbs, 3 egg yolks, and then...
Is mayonnaise something I should be making from scratch or just get it off the shelf?
It depends on what you're using it for. You know, if you're making it for, you know, you know, a beef tartare or something going kind of fancy, I'll make my own. But for the most part, I just use Best Foods because I think it's great. You know, I think it's a pretty neutral flavor. I don't like mayonnaise that are based on olive oil. I like them to have more of a neutral oil flavor, and something, you know, that's just consistent and has a good good thickness to it to help use it as a binder for this dish. It's super helpful. Okay, we got those latex gloves. Obviously great around the kitchen and the Lindell yacht. But I find them to be super versatile, and they're super helpful because I think the most important tools you have in a kitchen are actually your hands. So I'm going to use these.
I noticed you're not really using a recipe. Is that because it's a lot of trial and error through the years? And
no, everybody here got a recipe, and all these were all measured out. So, but the recipe you have is super consistent and good. And this is not a hard recipe. I definitely try to keep it pretty simple. Just enough binder to make sure you're holding things together, and it will look a little bit soft as you're using it. But it's the egg yolks are in there, so when you cook it, it'll hold together and bind a little bit in there. So,
do people get too wrapped around the axle with recipes, or just too like got to be by the book? And would you recommend that people just chill out a little bit and just go with your gut?
My main thing about cooking in general is, I think people put too much pressure on themselves to be perfect at it, and I'm a person that's like, you know, obviously I can make a steak or make a crab cake better than most because I've done it thousands of times, and it's just like anything in anybody's career or profession. They're really good at it because they've done it so many times, right? And the same thing applies for cooking. You know, I think people put too much pressure on themselves to be perfect at everything for cooking, and I think people, you know, for the most part, should just relax and enjoy. You know, practice things over and over again. Add a little freshly cracked pepper in there. Okay, so we've got our mix made. You can see it's not.
Can I overmix that?
No, you're not going to overmix it. No, you want to make sure everything's.
Well, I'll overmix it.
Well, where are your favorite crab cakes?
I do the Mark Bittman recipe, where actually there's no breadcrumbs at all, outside of an Ethan Stowell restaurant, of course. Yeah, I like the Bittman recipe, where he's all about keeping the crab really cold, so you need less bread. No bread to bind it. So yeah, it's the one I go to.
All right, good.
The crispy crunch of the exterior with a nice non-burnt part of the interior is the hard part, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is basically, you know, it's the idea is whatever works for you is the correct recipe, right? You know, if you have a recipe for crab cakes or crab salad that you love, stick with it. You know, try some variations on it, but certainly don't put too much pressure on yourselves. I mean, I think food is mostly about getting together, hanging out, and enjoying each other's company. And the food and beverage is secondary. Obviously still important, the reason you're gathering, but really a good dinner party is really based upon me and you hanging out, getting along.
Love it. That's the nice thing too about a Lindell yacht is that you can fit a dinner party of 12 right on the deck, no problem. It's built in Washington State, and this is the 46th that we're on. And you can find more at www.lindellyyachts.com. What are you doing over there, Ethan?
Well, I've got, since we're on the Lindell, we wanted to showcase one of the outdoor grills here. This one's pretty hot. As you guys can see, these magmas get super hot.
Is olive oil the best oil to use versus a vegetable oil?
I'd probably say that grapeseed is probably my favorite.
Uh-huh.
But olive oil right here on the boat is the one I got.
Right.
Okay, so I've got my Magma grill here. It's on super hot. We're gonna saute these things, but first we gotta form them, right?
Should I get some gloves on?
Sure, yeah, go for it, please. Okay, I like to form them. These are gonna be about 4-ounce crab cakes, a little bit smaller than a baseball. What I do is I form them basically in the balls first, and we only need to do a couple here. So I think I got this.
Okay.
But if you want to,
I don't think I've
go
got
for it.
this. Yeah, I need that.
Okay, so I'm forming them into balls, roll them around just like a meatball, and then I'm just going to smash them down a little bit. I like mine pretty thick, pretty good size.
And I know you're a fan of salt. How much salt have you put in there? Just the right amount?
Just a little pinch. Just a little pinch. Yeah. Okay, so I've got my crab cakes here. I don't need these gloves anymore. Unless you're going to form some, go for it.
Sure.
Yeah, help yourself. And then I use a combination of olive oil or grapeseed oil, and then a little bit of butter. So I'm just going to put those right in there with the butter.
Would you say a mistake people make, Ethan, is not putting the crab cakes on at the right time when the pan is hot with the butter is hot? Is that kind of the synchronicity of it all narrative?
I think it's mostly just about making sure that you get a nice crispy crab cake, and you're not overcooking it. The idea of these things is the crab meat's already cooked, right? You want to make sure that you're just heating it through and binding it all together. So the goal is to make sure you get it nice and crispy, and then heat it all the way through. Got a nice little crispy side there. You can see they're getting nice and golden brown. And what I'm going to do on these grills is what I want to do is I want to make sure they get heated all the way through. I'm just going to leave the saute pan in there and just close it a little bit and make sure that the heat stays in there, and they end up kind of baking a little bit. So if I'm making this at home, I would take the whole saute pan, put it in a 350-degree oven for about 5 minutes. So we're going to let this go here for about 5 minutes now.
What do you say we peek behind door number 1?
Well, let's do it. These things have been in there, for a good 5-6 minutes. I'm gonna take these out because I know they're hot all the way through. Uh-oh, sliding around too. Down there. And these have super hot, crispy crab cakes there that are all ready to go.
What's the wine pairing classic for that dish?
Well, this one, just because of the nature of the ingredients inside of it, the seasonings, I think a beer is appropriate. I think a margarita is appropriate. If you want to go white wine, that's great. I think
White Russian?
What's that?
White Russian?
I don't know about White Russian. You can't, if you really want to. I'm a believer that everybody picks their own poison. So, if White Russian is your jam, I highly encourage it. A little squeeze of some crab cakes, a little cilantro on top. Do a little squeeze of lemon. Let's get you a bite of this and see if you like it. Nice and hot.
Thank you, sir.
Let me give you a little squeeze of lime. I'm here to serve you.
Right on. I love this. More of this.
Okay,
what a beautiful day.
Is it hot?
Wow.
Is it good? I like it.
Mikey likes it. This is delicious.
All right, good. I'm gonna try a little bit too. Looks pretty tasty.
It doesn't need any aioli. I guess the aioli's already in. The mayonnaise is already in there. It doesn't need.
It's in there.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you guys a base recipe. You want to put side salad on top of this, or it's another dollop of lime aioli or something like that. It'd be great. You can do whatever you want. My thing is just make sure people know how to do the basics and have a very simple, easy to follow recipe. They can make it at home.
That's a main course. That's an appetizer. That's whatever you want to make it.
Whatever you want to make it. As you said, brunch, poached egg.
So it's EthanStowellRestaurants.com. We're on a Lindell 46, and stay tuned for more with Chef Ethan Stowell.